Hello there, many thanks for joining us on our Thursday Business News Report. We now start with news across Nigeria as the chairman of the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, Moman, Olumide Adeosun, has stated that the federal government's suspension of the Petroleum Industry Act will create more uncertainties in the nation's downstream sector. Speaking on the sidelines of Moman's Subsidy workshop for journalists in Lagos, Mr. Adeosun explains that the suspension of the PIA comes as a surprise to the association, but maintains that the Moman organization will be consulting with the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, as well as other industry stakeholders to understand just how the decision will likely impact the other provisions in the PIA as well as market operations. He further notes that the President Muhammadu Buhari administration has to be much more consistent in terms of formulating policies that will work so as not to send the wrong signals to potential local and foreign investors.
Engaged our government, and we have one or two senior level meetings planned for this week. The impact is obviously the delay, because the reality of the matter is that we had not really started to implement the elements of the plan. So we were not. So even though the act had been signed, we were not really operating in a deregulated world. Otherwise, there would be no limits on petrol pump prices as a case in point. The impact, again, as I said, it's really just, it creates more uncertainty. It doesn't do much in terms of investor confidence in this as a destination of choice. But I think it's important that we also try to understand the macro picture. Government has advised that the timing was just problematic.
Let us ensure that PIA that we took about 23 years to put in place is left as is, and any adjustment can be done outside the Act, so that we have consistency in policy and ensure that the investors are assured that PIA will be implemented.
And away from the energy sector now, the Federal Operations Unit Zone A of the Nigeria Customs Service has seized consignment of Tramadol tablets with a street value of more than 3.1 billion naira in Lagos. This is in addition to a container of expired and registered medicament and 17 trailers, a small good foreign parboiled rice intercepted in 1 month. TVC News correspondent Ibrahim tells us more.
I'm waiting on someone who will write to say, please, I'm the owner of this vehicle. That very day I will pick him up and I'll prosecute him. I will make sure I will arrest him, prosecute him, and send him to jail.
The acting controller, Federal Operations Unit Zone A, Hussein Ejibono, stating his determination to punish recalcitrant smugglers, expressing worry over intractable smuggling of illicit goods in contravention of the Customs and Excise Act. He explains how cartons of Tramadol and other expired drugs were uncovered from warehouses in Lagos.
See the Tramadol, see them in cartons at my back here. So on intelligence, and we swooped for them and we evacuated all. They are all here. This is an expired pharmaceutical product. As a matter of fact, from this diclofenac sodium 50 milligram with caffeine 50 milligram has the capacity of treating eight different ailments. But it expired since May 2019.
Containers of used tires, second-hand clothes, sacks of cannabis sativa were among the list of prohibited items seized, including vehicles, premium motor spirit, among others. The command also impounded thousands of foreign parboiled rice, an equivalent of 17 trailers, some of which were concealed with bags of cement.
This is smuggled parboiled rice in 50 kg, mixed with cement, Dangote cement. You can see the desperation of some smugglers. Now, they brought in this rice, they went into a company that is carrying cement, arranged with the driver, and put this inside. Smugglers, they thought we would go to sleep. Now, they now devise a means to come out during the Yuletide to the first week in January, thinking, maybe officers must have gone for holidays. We didn't go anywhere. They were all in the trenches, and see the results here.
The comptroller says that 23 suspects have been arrested in connection to the seizures, while noting that more than 192 million naira was generated through demand notices in 1 month. Ifunanya Eze, TVC News, Lagos.
Now, despite the underlying fiscal and monetary challenges affecting Nigeria, stakeholders in the tax sector are calling for improved economic and business relations between Nigerian and the French economy, as well as their counterparts. This forms part of deliberations at a breakfast meeting organized by the Franco-Nigerian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, featuring top African tax leaders in the private and public sector. The meeting also analyzed the ambiguity of newly introduced tax legislations as well as its impact on local and foreign investment, one of which is the introduction of the capital-based tax on share sale. Experts also urge businesses to look inward and also tap into the opportunities between both economies to strengthen bilateral investment promotion as well as trade.
We'll watch and see if you try.
French companies have continued to increase irrespective of the challenges in the Nigerian economy. Well, we congratulate the government on infrastructural projects. We talk about the Lagos-Ibadan Railway project, for example, and of course other policies of government like the Finance Act 2020, Finance Act 2021, signing of the PIA, though it has been suspended, but of course there is hope in that area. Right? French companies are not just doing businesses in the oil and gas again. We're looking at e-commerce, for example, technology, real estate, and the rest of them. So this has continued to grow, and that is why we have brought the people into the room today.
Some of the highlights are the introduction of capital gains tax on share sales. That's an item that everybody now needs to think about. Before now, they were not taxable, and there was no capital gains tax on them. Now you have to look at a 10% tax on share sales in excess of 100 million naira. That will certainly impact most of the sort of transactions that large entities will be likely to be involved in, because 100 million is less than $200,000. So for transactions of $1 million or more, you have to think about the capital gains tax.
If you're looking for challenges and problems, there will be 1,001 of them, but you can also look within those issues for the bright spots, and I think that the bright spots we have include the resilience of the Nigerian people, the ability to translate some of these challenges into opportunities, and that's why we encourage that businesses, individuals and companies, while being mindful of the challenges, shouldn't close their eyes to the opportunities, because at the end of the day, I think your ability to stand out is how you manage crises to get results.
Well, it's now time to bring you highlights of trading activities on the Nigerian Exchange Limited as securities trading stayed in the lower territory following losses recorded by mid-level firms. This was the highlight for midweek on Wednesday, and Ifingekop has the details.
On profit-taking forced the Nigerian stock market to drop prices. This practice of rebalancing trades at the exchange was significant when trade index went down by 0.39%, emphasizing losses on investments. Heavy trade losers included Courtville, ABC Transport, May and Baker, and Govt Aviation. Ikeja Hotels, Corn Oil, Academy Press, and RT Briscoe met reasonable gains. In all, over 400 million units of shares were traded. Other stock markets across Africa finished trades largely positive. Mauritius closed trades in green with higher margins on securities prices. In Tanzania, stock trading was positive as many market players returned to the trading floor to pick cheap stocks. Finally, stock prices at the Nairobi Securities Exchange hit the rooftops as various companies' equities rose above 1% on the back of strong bargain hunting by fund managers. Efyong Ekop TVC News, Lagos.
And wrapping up the news now, oil prices on the international market climbed earlier on Wednesday towards last week's 7-year highs as a draw in US crude stocks confirmed strong demand and a lack of supply. But Investors remain cautious ahead of the OPEC Plus meeting, which was held later in the day. Now, U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude recorded a price surge of 0.31% to hit $88.47 per barrel, and Brent crude also sold at about $89.42 per barrel, registering an upward price margin of 0.29%. Bonelite's performance made its way back into the green territory with a price increase of 0.66%, selling at $91.08 per barrel, and for the OPEC basket crude oil dealers offered $90.89 per barrel, with a price surge of 0.83%. That's it from the business desk.